Welcome to Goat Island. I am your host, the Big Ka Huzzi, and this is your weekly entertainment and history. What's up with series, anyway? This week we're looking at anime series, and please, you don't have to agree, but that just means you're not right, because the GOAT is obviously Naruto. Now, personally, my favorite is Death Note, but this isn't Favorite Island, this is Goat Island. And while Dragon Ball Z is obviously the most famous, let's be honest, DBZ wasn't thought of as an anime. You just knew it as a cartoon. And for that reason, the GOAT anime has to be Naruto. Because without it, most people wouldn't even have cared what anime was. 7 out of 10 from us over on the island. That's only because 30% of the episodes were literally filler, but still goated. Now, we've officially only got one more show to look forward to this month, with Rick Sanchez and Grandson returning this past Sunday. And unlike both Blood of Zeus and Big Mouth, this one you have to wait week to week for the new season. So it'll keep us out of May into June and likely into July. And the series that we've binged here on the island most recently is, of course, well, Big Mouth Season 8. Duh. Honestly, the shit was mid as fuck. I genuinely remember none of it, even though I watched all of it just this weekend. Yeah, it was definitely time to end this one. This was not it. I'll binge, sadly. Remember when you had to move the antenna above the TV when the picture was acting up during your favorite show? And then even when you got the right spot, you couldn't rewind and catch what you missed. And nowadays, we almost get a heart attack when the router makes the Netflix episode pause for a few seconds. Because but why is the router giving an attitude, right? Oh, how times have changed. Switching from TV to the silver screen, let's get to the movies. Which movies are we looking at this time? Well, how you doing? This week's category is mob movies, or basically anything Martin Scorsese. But the GOAT, the Don, the big cheese is The Godfather Part 2. I mean, you already had Marlon Brando as Don Vito, but then you had the nerve, the audacity to have a young Vito played by De Niro. Or while Al Pacino kills it as Michael Corleone. Yep, this is the GOAT. The GOAT. It's a 10 out of 10 from us here on the island. It's perfect. And the other mob movies, forget about it, you know? On to newer releases. So Lilo and Stitch came out on Friday, and spoiler alert, fuck off now. If you don't want it spoiled, Disney fucking did it. Nani wasn't shaking her gap, but somehow they changed major details in this classic and still captured even more emotion than the original. I was really surprised by this one, and this was more than good. This was euphoric to experience, especially as an adult, having been one of the kids who watched when the original came out. Lesson here is never doubt Disney, damn it. W movie. This is officially our last entertainment and history episode for May. And I hate to say it, but our prediction for movie of the month was wrong, but not completely off. We knew it had come from Disney, but somehow the Blue Alien pulled off the heist of the century and stole the spotlight from the New Avengers. Lilo and Stitch is officially our movie of the month. And May just seems to be the month of franchises that refuse to die. With that, this week's movie we don't need is Final Destination Bloodlines. because apparently Death's Design has a prequel. New cast, same old Rube Goldberg. Death traps, predictable? Absolutely. Necessary? Not in the slightest. Some franchises should just rest in peace. We've talked about series, we've talked about movies, but what about digital streaming platforms? Well, it's been a busy month, but our prediction was right, and the DSP of the month with multiple new releases and just the edge on the competition in May is definitely Netflix. But the question is it just a good month for them, or will they find a way to continue this into June? But what's behind all of it? The DSPs, the series, the movies. Well, time to talk studios. Can't believe I'm going to say this, but following up on last week's same-day trailer drops from the two big superhero studios, DC actually has a W over Marvel. The Superman trailer has more than 3x the views of the Iron trailer, despite releasing hours after the Disney Plus series trailer. With that being said, it is DC's most anticipated movie in years, and by far the biggest release of the decade. And this would be like Marvel's third or fourth Disney Plus series this year. So yeah, but fair game. DC needs to take a W wherever they can. The clear number one out of the two superhero studios, that's Marvel, is not without drama though. It was recently announced that Marvel is pushing back both Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars from May of 2026 and 2027 respectively to the Decembers of both years. Now, some might think this shows trouble within the studio, but some people are just stupid. This delay can only mean good things, with the next Spider-Man movie now taking place before Avengers Doomsday, meaning you'll likely see the friendly neighborhood Spidey in Doomsday, which previously wouldn't have made sense. The GOAT studio is and will always be Disney, in case the rest of the episode up to this point hasn't made that clear already. And this week's era of Disney we're looking at is the Silver Age, which surprisingly was from 1950 to 1967. Damn. This is surprising because why have we watched so many of these? Peter Pan, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, 101 Dalmatians, Jungle Book, and The Lady and the Tramp. And that's not even all. For the nostalgia, we gotta give this at least a 7 out of 10 from us here on the island, and it says something that these old ass cartoons survived through generations. Put your seatbelt on in your imaginary DeLorean, because we're about to go back in time. This week's pig boy in history is Napoleon. Think your boyfriend is jealous? Napoleon declared war on Austria because his ex, Marie-Louise, married someone else. He had already married someone else, by the way, but when she got with another prince, suddenly he's storming Vienna like, if I can't have you, no one can. And when things started going south, he blamed it all on her dad for not backing him. That's not heartbreak. That's geopolitical emotional damage. Next time you say your ex is dramatic, did he launch a war over you? No. Napoleon did. This week's historical myth is brought to you by Ridley Scott again. Kingdom of Heaven tried to make the Crusaders deep and nuanced. Instead, we got a blacksmith from France becoming a knight, diplomat, a siege tactician, and a moral compass overnight. Balian of Ibelin was real, but not a hot atheist blacksmith who slept with the Queen of Jerusalem. Also, Saladin was noble and strategic, but the Christians weren't all evil, dumb, or weak. It's more complicated than Europe bad, Islam elegant. Cool swords, wrong script, call it Game of Thrones, Holy Land Edition. Did you know a samurai once faked his death twice to survive a war? Kusunoki Masashige was loyal to the emperor, but his side kept losing. So he pulled a move out of a telenovela. faked his own death, hid in the mountains, popped back up 10 years later like, miss me? Did it again after a second defeat. Everyone thought he was gone. Next thing you know, boom, he's back in armor. Loyal, legendary, low-key ninja behavior. But here's the twist. The Emperor made a dumb call. Sent him to fight 10,000 with just 700 men. Masashige knew it was a suicide mission, but he went anyway. He lost, then bowed out like a boss with ritual seppuku. Faked death twice, faced it once, and became a legend for doing it on his own terms. I guess third times was the charm for a man like Shige with his once, twice, 3 times a goner. But with this slap as a series and movie, I think repeated fake deaths would just seem redundant for a 2-hour sitting. Like, what's the point if he's only going to die anyway? So this would be like a generous 6 out of 10, because it would still be entertaining. But as a series, now we're on Days of Our Lives level ridiculousness. With the dying and the not being dead and then again and the drama. I mean, this would be ironically good. So as a series, we'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. That's a wrap for this week's entertainment and history drop. And you can like and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts, drop a comment. And from Goat Island, this is the Big Ka Huzzi. We'll check you again.